Welcome to Your Bookkeeping Matters. I'm Lisa Turner, bringing you short and snackable weekly episodes on bookkeeping and business matters in an easy to understand way so you can be in control and confident that you know your bookkeeping matters. Let's dive into this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Your Bookkeeping Matters. We're at the pointy end of season 2, which has been all about growth. There's only a few episodes left before we change it up, so I'm going to get straight to the point on this one. I have a lot to share with you. You're growing. You don't know what to do with your numbers. Let's talk budgeting for bookkeeping and how much you should invest at each stage of your business. I want to precursor this one with a couple of things. One, stages look different for everyone and reaching them at different times. And two, what you need and your budget is different to everyone. So take what you need from this episode and apply it to you and your business needs. Let's look at the main stages of your business growth. And the first one is planning. And this is a really fun and big stage. Putting together all your ideas, your research, your business plan, your legal setup, getting the marketing strategy together, so much fun. Then you launch and you come into launch stage. You open the physical or virtual doors. You start building your client base, brand awareness, taking orders, building email lists. You're open for business. And you then naturally progress into the next stage, growth. You're doing all the things to nurture your business and grow it. Increase stock levels to meet what your customer needs. You add extra services. And then depending on what you decide to do, you might stay happily and perfectly right where you are. Or you could step it up to the next stage and expand or scale. So you're in scale mode. Now, how much do you budget for each of those different stages in taking care of the numbers so you know what you're doing? Planning stage. Do you want to take care of it yourself and bootstrap things in the early days? If so, software is all you need to budget for. And in most cases, Xero, Xero, for anyone new to the online accounting software, Xero is going to be perfect. Perfect. And at the time of this episode recording, starter plan with Xero is only $29 a month. And this is great for that planning stage, the early days, not many transactions. You don't need any special bells and whistles. And then once you move into launch phase, you might need to up that to $59 a month, depending on what volume and bills and invoices you need. Now, if you can't budget for this software, I strongly suggest you reevaluate this, because if you're starting a business, you should always use accounting software. Head back to episode 8 on why using accounting software saves you time and money, or episode 27, are you wasting money on the wrong software? Those episodes give you some great insights into software and why it's extremely important for your business while you're growing and for any stage of your business. But if you're DIYing your bookkeeping here at this planning stage, be aware your tax return may cost more for the tax accountant to go through, put it together, fix things up for you, depending on your business structure and the volume as to what that cost is going to be. Definitely get a quote before diving in and getting your annual tax return done. Now, if you've squirreled away some startup funds and want to outsource the books from the get-go, you've got a couple of options here. And this budgeting covers both the planning and the launch stage of your business. Your first option, nab yourself a trusty bookkeeper who charges ad hoc, as in by the hour, as and when you need them. Keep it simple because you'll likely have very limited finances and resources. Now, depending on what they're doing for you and their experience, it could be anywhere between $70 to $120 an hour. Less than this and you're not getting someone experienced, or they're not qualified and registered with the Tax Practitioners Board. Now, that $120 higher end is, of course, for more experienced, higher level work provided for your core bookkeeping services here. Advisory, CFO, training, they're all at much higher rates. So in the planning stage, you might only be paying $100 to $200 a month plus your accounting software. Now, also, if numbers is not your thing, Now is the time to start educating yourself. Find yourself some free resources to learn and grow your financial know-how, because even if you don't ever want to do all the things yourself, you still need to learn and keep on top of things. Your second option, a large amount of bookkeeping practices don't actually charge by the hour, and they have monthly packages depending on the things they're doing for you and the value they provide to your business. Time is no longer an element in what they're doing for you. The big question, so how much will it cost? And the popular answer is it depends. If they're offering monthly packages, they're going to have different packages for different levels or stages like we're talking about here, and based on their inclusions and their experience as to how much they price those packages for. But you'll likely land yourself in their startup or their base package, the lowest package that they offer, which might be, for example, no employees and no BAS, and could be $250 a month. My base or entry-level package is $365, and that's because it's for if you're registered for GST. So it also includes your BAS, as a lot of businesses register for GST from the start. And this gives you a really good idea of what you're going to need at the planning or launch phase of your business, the software, and either an hourly bookkeeper at the $100 to $200 a month, or base packages anywhere from the $250 to the $365. There are, of course, people above and below that, but that's to give you a ballpark idea to start your planning with. You've launched, you're in growth mode, more is going on with your business, more numbers for the number-loving bookkeeper to keep on top of for you. How much to invest in your bookkeeper now you're in this growth stage? It's time to plan for more complexity in your business, more volume, different or extra services needed. And here I'm talking BAS for sure, because you'll be registered for GST in growth mode. You will have payroll. You will have stock that needs accounting for, those kind of things. So your option one while you're in growth stage is stick with the hourly bookkeeper, and the time spent increases. So probably double the budget here. You could be up for $300 to $500 a month. Now, depending also if you're e-commerce, you might have high volume transactions. If you have payroll, extra employees, all these things take extra time. So while you're paying hourly, the more work you get them to do, the more your costs will increase. And when charging by the hour and you're registered for GST, your BAS lodgement is generally not included in any hourly rate. So it's charged separately per lodgement. Now, I provide premium BAS services, and my lodgement fee is $150 when my team does the bookkeeping, because I know they've done all the things I want done. They've done a lot of the checks and balances, and they've done it the way I need it to be done. But if you're DIYing and someone is reviewing your work and lodging the BAS for you, this will definitely jump up in costs and could be $200 per lodgement and more. Now, in most cases, the growth stage of your business is when business owners actually first dive in and outsource their books. So you're more than likely going to have been DIYing the books all the way through the planning and the launch phase, and now you're ready to hand the reins over to a professional bookkeeper to look after it all for you. So you could actually end up skipping the hourly rates and dive straight into monthly packages, including all the things that you need. Again, as always, the amount to invest or budget for at your growth stage depends on your business and your decisions on who to go with here, as there's a wide range of monthly packages. My growth packages include payroll and BAS and start for core bookkeeping services at $550 a month. And that increases with extras like more employees, e-commerce integrations, customer reports, higher frequency processing, as in we process your numbers more regularly for you. If we do any client invoicing for you, lots of things. But for growth stage businesses, it starts from $550 a month. So if you were to budget around $500-ish a month for your bookkeeping while you're in growth phase, you would be in great hands, keeping in mind if you have more needs, the costs would of course be higher. growth phase is the best and most common time to start investing in outsourcing your bookkeeping. You're growing and you want to know if you're making money and you want to keep on top of your ATO obligations, all the things. So investing from here on out would be immensely beneficial for your business. Even if you have the know-how, do you have the time? Episode 10, Should I Outsource or DIY My Books? Gives you things to think about and gets your mind working about what is really the best option for you and your business. Let's say you fully outsource your books from here on out. Don't stop learning and educating yourself on your business financials, because nearly every decision you make in your business is tied back to knowing your numbers. Maybe budget for some professional education on this or training with your bookkeeper one-on-one instead of the free resources that you've lent on so far. You might even invest in digital courses to learn the foundations and the basics, and I have the perfect course for that, Bookkeeping Matters Blueprint. I will link that in the show notes. It's a digital course to teach you some of those things that you absolutely need to know all about. The last stage in your business I want to dive into is that expanding or scaling stage. You're absolutely thriving and taking it to the next level. You really should not be DIYing or paying by the hour here. You have a business with likely employees, several contractors, you've got scalable digital products or a warehouse of products, and you're working on highly strategic decisions to grow and expand in different things. Even if you do have the time and the know-how to take care of all those financy things, if you're expanding, doing these tasks is not your role as the director, founder, CEO, whatever you've labeled yourself. You're wasting valuable time on taking care of the numbers instead of the revenue or the income drivers and looking after your team and those kind of things that are the director's role. Part of growing is asking yourself, do I personally need to do this particular task? If you've got to this point and you're still DIYing, get your skates on and get in touch with a bookkeeper who specializes in your business and industry to take care of all these things for you. Another throwback episode for you here. Check out episode 36, Hiring a Bookkeeper. Here's what you need to know to find the best one for you. And if that's me, you can jump in and book a free discovery call with me, and we have a chat on Zoom and go through what you're needing support for in this particular phase of your business, so I can give you a customized proposal so you know exactly the costs you're going to be up for at this stage in your business. So what do you need to invest dollar-wise in this flourishing stage of your business growth? Again, I don't recommend paying by the hour here at all. But if the perfect bookkeeper for you does charge by the hour, this is not a bad thing at all. And if it's working, stick with it. But value packages are going to be a much better investment at this top end stage of your business. There'll be things you need looking after, like regular payroll for larger teams, monthly BAS or IAS instead of quarterly. You need your numbers updated weekly instead of fortnightly or monthly. We have some clients we dive in and do some things for every single day. And you might have some custom needs in terms of integrations and reporting. So your budget for this stage definitely needs to reflect those new level of services you need while still keeping the transparency. Don't forget that, as in you need to have full access to the numbers and be across them. You don't need to create the reports or do the daily processing, but you need to be updated and be able to dive in and check your numbers whenever you like, because it's your business and your numbers. So you need full access to be able to see the numbers whenever you like. The $1 million question, how much to invest here? And I'd say the big bucks. You want it done right in this stage of your business. You want confidence and peace of mind now more than ever. If you're growing and making decisions based on your profit, your different revenue streams, you need to know the numbers are squeaky clean. My thriving monthly packages start from $800 a month for core bookkeeping services, But with growing teams, increased reporting, CFO services, daily invoicing, I have clients paying more than 4 times those costs. I don't compare our pricing to other practices as we all provide different services and values. But I did do a quick flick around before recording this to have some comparisons in my mind. I have my starting or base costs for each stage of your business on my website for complete transparency. So when you want to dive in and start working with me, you know if I'm in your budget or not, or the services in those packages are what you're looking for. Now, there were lots I found not showing their pricing or even starting from pricing listed on their website. For any bookkeepers listening in, 2 issues here. You'll lose prospective clients instantly because many won't contact you in case they can't afford you. I'm the same. If I'm looking around for a contractor or something I want to purchase, if I don't have a ballpark figure before chatting with them, I move on. And secondly, you could have loads of time wasted for both you and the client who might not be a good fit for you and your services and your pricing as you're out of their budget, but they didn't know this up front. So please pop some base prices or starting prices on your websites if you're a bookkeeper or if you're any service-based industry. But what I did find pricing-wise to help you budget were several bookkeepers and practices with very similar pricing to me. Of course, there was some much less and some much more, same as any service provider, but they have different experience, they have different value, offer different services. Do your research and find your best fit for your business and budget. Make sure you regularly review and update your budget that you want to invest in bookkeeping at the right stages of your business, because as your business grows, as will the bookkeeping costs. You can't expect them to do more work, provide you with higher value services and insights, and keep paying those low costs you did back in the early days. To summarize, for your planning and startup phase, you're either going to be DIYing or paying hourly. Once you move into growth, it's time to really weigh up what's important and budget for outsourced bookkeeping. And then that scaling or expanding stage of your business is when you really should down tools and pass them to the professionals to look after it for you. The last thing to mention in terms of budgeting for bookkeeping, and I've touched on this at the start, is your software. Make sure you have budget for that, and the software costs will increase with the different things you need the software to do. So also keep that in mind and budget for someone to set the software up for you. You want it Mickey Mouse. No setup is the same for everyone, and you don't want to get it wrong, and you also need to keep money in the bank for those annual tax returns. Now, that's my thoughts and insights for you on budgeting for your bookkeeping and letting you know how much to invest at each different stage of your business growth. Now, if you're ready to dive in and outsource, I have a free download on my website of questions you need to ask when engaging a bookkeeper to make it easier to find your perfect match, because we're not all for everybody. accountedforyou.com.au/10 questions to ask bookkeeper. I'll link that in the show notes, but you can search the word questions on my website and it'll come straight up for you. Thank you so much for popping me in your ears today. I would absolutely love it if you could leave a review to help the podcast reach and support more business owners like you to grow and know the important things to invest in and help them reach those goals they've set for themselves. I look forward to catching you next week.